Hi everyone, Susie here from Minnesota, and our garden is zone 4B, and it's getting to be the end of August, and just wanted to show you how everything looks right now. It's probably about as good as it's gonna get. Containers are still looking wonderful. Very low maintenance. I've fertilized them once, and watering is very easy with these. We've had consistent rain. This is early in the morning, just trying to get this done before the cicadas come out because it's going to get warm, and as it heats up, they get louder. These containers look great. This is a begonia I started from seed, the only one that made it. Looks wonderful. The bobos are definitely looking fantastic this year. They never get really pink, just a little hint of it, and that's fine. I like the chartreuse and the cream color, to tell you the truth, better. Oh, and then my pelargoniums are doing okay. I have not watered these. I haven't deadheaded. I haven't fertilized. I'm not the best with annuals in the ground. I put more time into the perennials, and that's just me. I do like the annuals that give some color. Not a lot with those right now, but again, they'd probably be doing better if I was a bit better with them. Seed pods on the hot wing Satirian maple have browned and still offer some interest. Oh, there's the cicadas. Heucheras are looking great. Mowing's kind of been difficult, but best year ever for them. Sun Kings are over 5.5 feet tall, and then the black lace elderberry is, I would say, probably about 12 feet. It's doing what I want it to do. The spread on it goes all the way over here to also here. I do leave the brown heads on a lot of stuff. I think it offers interest. Oh. Morning sun. It is pretty. Grass is really wet, not from rain, just humidity. So my feet are going to be soaked after this. This is such a pretty view here. Nice and cool right now. This is beautiful. And so far, no mosquitoes are bugging me. I'm liking this garden. I cleaned up a lot in here. I cleaned up the rose campion. I say closed. I cut back the dianthus, so it's still down there, a little weedy looking, some big gaps, but I'm not minding this right now. I'm still debating if these hydrangeas were cuttings of mine about 4 years ago, or if I should just weave a bunch of the Carl Forster grasses in here. I do like that movement. That's the Pixie Fauna Tufted Hairgrass. That looks really good right there. I moved a clump down in there from a different spot, and it I don't know what happened. That's not looking good. Pulmonaria. It's loving its life this year too. And then the heucheras, what can I say? I also cut back all of the variegated bishopsweed in here. It was just that brown hot mess in here, so, and you wouldn't know it. I mean, it's very pretty right now, and at least it gives the roses a chance, especially this one, to just breathe. More air circulation. This container is gorgeous. I just have one plant in here. I was not expecting it to get to this width, but it's outperformed itself. This area is really liking this area. I did get another Hakana grass to kind of fill that in. They're very delicate in my zone, so I'll see which ones come back, and hopefully all of them do, but then I'll go from there because they'll get really big. The rose here looks amazing. This is Bonica. I have 3 of them loaded in buds again. Oh, cicadas. And this rose here, pretty sure this is a Gabriel oak. Is unbelievable. I mean, look at that. Just has kept blooming the entire season. Can't wait to first year bare root. I can't wait to see what it does next year. The one next door, I did give it a support because that was getting really, it was acting like a climber. So then I wrapped the canes around it horizontally, so then it throws off all these vertical shoots, which is, I mean, why it's unbelievable. But I've only had 2 blooms from it. I think this is Gertrude Jekyll. So we'll see. I'm not happy with that, considering it's right next door to one that hasn't stopped blooming, and same with Lark Ascending. So I don't know what its issue is, but it's healthy. We'll see next year. And then I moved my 2 geums here. I just think it makes more sense in this garden than with the hostas, at least to me. So I think they'll like it here too. These little tiny plants here, this is called Blue Eddy. They don't get really big, but they do have bluish foliage. And then just starting here, I had moved these from a holding bed this year, so wasn't expecting a whole lot of blooms. But hopefully they do a bit better next year. And yeah, Lark Ascending, very delicate. It's just, and I understand that this as more of a, it's not a single petal. That's definitely not one of your fuller roses. That doesn't take as much energy to produce that versus the other ones, but really wanted to see Gertrude Jekyll. Anemones, I'm a zone 4B, remember, they do not do the best in my zone. So if they take over in yours, I'm sorry, but I have a hard time keeping them alive here. Just some deadheading, not much, just a bunch of hostas. These are doing really good here, the Waltzing Matilda, Dahlia. I'm okay with that pop of color there, and with the chartreuse behind it and then the silver foliage, I'm really liking that. So this is where I had the grass that I moved, that's looking dead, and then the 2 geums. And then I just moved one of my hostas from the back garden. This is Maya Infatuation. And I think it'll offer a nice contrast here with the Juga and then the blue hostas here. I like that better. It is a very beautiful morning. Just keep looking to see how my magnolia is doing here. It's got buds for next year. The fire pit container was just glorious. I have to say it's been my favorite this year, one of my favorites. I'm loving the begonias and the euphorbia. Again, very low maintenance. Silly string hosta down here, beautiful purple blooms. But this is, I've been leaving some. Of course he gets camera shy because the bees go in there. Then you see these cute little bee butts. I just love it, especially when I'm having a fire pit, which actually will be a very beautiful day for one today. Still living my spring containers, all looking great. I mean, when you think this does, I probably gets about 4 hours of sun at least, especially evening sun, so not too bad. I mean, no, great for that. I mean, look at that. It smells wonderful. Just pansies and alyssum. All ones I started from seed. And then I'm working in this area just with weeding. I do have, these are just hostas. This was one plant here that I removed from a different area, which I will show you. I was just, do I want to save them or don't I? They're just hostas I've gotten from friends 20 years ago. So they're good starter hostas, but I've like different varieties. I don't want to say become a hosta snob, but I just think there's more wow ones out there. But that being said, this clumps up big time. I mean, but this is my compost. It's amazing. I've been really working to try and get a lot of compost made this year. So it's been, my least favorite job is mulching. My second is making compost. But at least, I don't know, there's a satisfaction when it's done, but it's a lot of work. I moved this hosta from, again, my other back garden. It was just getting taken over by, what do I have back there? Oh, Sun King. I couldn't see it. I'm thinking this might be Atlantis, but don't quote me. It didn't have a tag when I bought it, but it's really pretty. So, and then I bought some ferns, so I'm trying to figure out where I want to dot them throughout here. But yeah, just sit back there, weed will be perfect, nice breeze. And then I just spread my compost on top as like a top dressing. That's how I do all of my compost, whether I buy it in bags from a greenhouse, big box store, or mine. One year I followed a YouTuber's advice, made my own potting mix, and I burned my plants because they say, oh yeah, I use baked compost. Yep, no, I had a horrible year for my containers. So never again. So that's why, but using it as a top dressing, it's just a really nutritious mulch. So that's, you do you. That's just, I've learned I won't make that mistake again. Clematis henryi is just beautiful. It's perfect. It's perfect back here. I don't know if I can catch that. Oh. I'm very sorry if there was a spider. Are you alive? Oh, I understand that it's the circle of life, but here, at least you won't get your inside sucked out. Fuchsia is doing pretty good. I mean, still blooming, still putting out blooms, filling in the container rather nicely. Oh, shoot, there's a big stick on one of my spring containers. I'll get it later. Sometimes walking through these gardens are a bit of a maze. I love morning sun and evening sun. It's my favorite. I'm going to film these in 2 parts. I just can't get it done in a good amount of time. I tend to ramble. I hate speeding everything up. Then I get really jerky, and honeysuckle. I have never pruned this. I'm kind of like, where would I start? Because it's huge, but it's glorious. And then, oh, no way. This is peaches and cream honeysuckle. To put off another bloom. This one has a scent to it. I just planted it last year. I mean, when you think, it was a really tiny plant. I do have a little cage around it, not the best. Rabbits do eat those, especially the tender here. This one came from this one, and you can see. So it does, so you do have to protect that. But it's just, this too has gotten tall. I'm hoping it goes that way. But then again, the sun is over here, so it might lean that way. I love the Annabelles. I love that green color. I really do. I could probably pick some now and use them in a flower arrangement, just a dried flower. I just love this area, all the movement. I think after this video, I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee and drink it and sit on my patio, finally. Oh. I'm stalling. It's just sometimes there's a moment when you're like, oh, this is why I love gardening. Grasses, I like. I'm a grass person. Oh no. It came down. I thought I had this. Didn't tie it in, but I had it curved around. Ouch. Okay, I'll get that later. Ow. But yeah, spring container still looking, you know what, I'm here. I walked in, I'm just gonna do this. Oh, then of course, I chuck it on a hosta. There we go. It's just a Weigela there. I think spilled wine. Just like it for the foliage. Don't care if it flowers. If you know me and my channel, you know I'm all about texture and foliage for the most part. This is a Japanese painted fern, crested surf, and it's huge and I love it there. But the elderberry lemony lace has gotten huge and glorious and I love it. It's what I wanted. So sweet woodruff is browning in there. I'm not overly concerned. It's a ground cover, so I'm okay with some of it dying so it can kind of control itself. Otherwise it's a pretty good one. Oh, I love the ivory halo red twig dogwood. That will get bigger. It's just been moved so much. Let's see. I do like the Brunnera. I dropped some wood on this over here. Yeah, I'd probably wreak more havoc on my gardens than anything else. I love this container. I like most. There's some that I'm retiring. I love this here, these begonias. Next year I'm totally going with all the begonias again. It's just one plant in each of these containers. What can I say? I haven't fertilized, I barely water, and they just, then they do have a tendency to do this. So, conical grass, oh, I hope we have another mild winter, so it's, because like I said, sometimes that can be a bit tricky. This grass here, no. I mean, it looks good in the middle. This is a Pixifauna tufted hair grass. It definitely splayed out. So, I don't know. I will think what I want to do about that. I mean, I'm definitely keeping it, but I've never, and now's not the time to do anything next year because I don't really do much with grasses this late in the season. Look how amazing this looks. We had some days that were very humid and warm. I got to about 90 and they definitely yellowed and I had some rotting. So it wasn't liking that. Like this one's pretty scarce in here, but all these other ones, yes, I know I have to deadhead. It's just, it's been rain like every other day or every 2 days and they just don't really like that. Look at even mushrooms. They look like little sombreros. And then this is just a ligularia. I'm pretty sure you saw it in one of my, I'm not even sure when, but again, I just use my compost for top dressing. I did plant a Rodgersia for here. I have 4 of them. So there's one on this corner here and then one at the other corner. I brought it out a bit. I built up the soil level because it's a really low spot there. And then I will edge and make it a little cleaner, maybe in the fall. We'll see what I have time for, but love that. Here, I do have the tag. And this is a little temperamental in my zone too. You see a lot of these labeled as zone 5. I mean, I know I'm a 4B, it's not that big of a stretch, but I don't know if you can see that. I can't, the sun's in my eyes. It says a zone 4 there, I see that, but it is that. Again, it does get those blooms, but it's the foliage, and it'll look very tropical if it does what I want it to do. Probably going to retire these containers. They just all gone to seed. It is throwing off. They just don't like the heat. So if you're in a hot climate, I would say when you plant them, they're going to look good for a little bit, and then they're going to peter out or go to seed. That's when you should come and give it a haircut, which I did not. Hardy hibiscus. This is the last one to open up for me. Isn't it just gorgeous? And yes, I know it's red, and I'm actually liking the red in my garden with this and Waltzing Matilda. Very rich. Very rich. I like it. And then this is that Georgia peach heuchera down here. I do like that combo. More of the Rogersia. This is where I had that hosta that took up this whole area. It covered everything up in there. And yes, and even that little hosta back there, I left it. I'm like, that's fine for now. Yeah, I think this will look good here with the shape of the leaves. It adds a different texture. It's got the purple of the ligularia back there. My tree is holding in there, looking great. It is pinking up too, because we had some days that actually for a high it was 68 or 69. That was gorgeous, but really cool. I mean, we've been cool pretty much the whole summer except for, I think, 5 days we've had 90. I just left this because when daylilies are done, I'll leave the stalks brown up pretty good until I can actually pull them out easily. They say that's when you should deadhead them. So not only that, they're as dry as can be, so I'll use that to start my fire. It just makes it a little bit easier. This is beautiful. This is Turtlehead Chelone. It has been here probably for 12 years at least. So it does spread. Bees love it. When it's this early in the morning, a lot of them are not out. But it's been blooming for a bit for the flowers to be falling off. But it's fun to watch them because, again, they go in there. I mean, it looks like a little turtle. That's why. And it's just, I love this plant. It is the last one to bloom, unfortunately, for the season. Actually, no, I would take it back. If I had to say the last thing to bloom in my garden would be the Korean featherweed grass is probably the latest, and then sedums. But this is, I've got one plant here and I had one plant there, so it does spread. Oh, pass this up. So these are seeds I started. This is the Gomphrena Audrey White. Looks amazing in the landscape and containers. I highly recommend you to start the seed. It's just, I have not deadhead it. I have brought some in for cut flowers, and it's just amazing. There's 4 plants here. And that one was mowed down by rabbits, so rabbits do like it. There you go. But I'm definitely doing that again, and it doesn't look dirty. It's amazing. Queen of Sweden. Any perennials, roses that I have in containers, I have to figure out how I'm going to winterize them, because a terracotta pot cannot stay out even with soil in it. It will crack due to my extreme winters. And bringing it in, my garage is heated. That's my plant room. So I'm still thinking on, and I'm not digging a hole that size. They're huge containers. And I know the roots go all the way to the bottom because I planted it in there. This is a proven winner's hardy hibiscus. I really didn't think their plants went to seed. I thought that was one of the appeals about them, but I'm not complaining. I think this is Lilac Crush. Don't quote me. I didn't save my tag. I was going to put this on the corners, but I really like the hanging baskets there. So I put it here as a focal point. And it gets about 5 feet tall, and I think 4 feet wide. So I just didn't want it smack dab against the fence. Because if those blooms are crushed again, that's ugly. And then I neatened the edge here. Really like that. And again, yes, I did build up the soil there too to help with future flooding. More of the Gomphrena. I mean, Queen of Sweden in a container has been amazing. And I would say it's probably getting part sun right now. And then just another Rodgersia. So in this area, I do like to keep it, I'm not going to say simple, but just repetitive. So I still have to figure out what I want to put in here, not the rose. But I'll figure something out. And then, oh yeah, I think this is just Autumn Joy. I used to have more, but this shrub took over, so what I get is what I get. This is just a self-seeded alyssum for my spring containers. I'm leaving it. I think it's awesome that it's grown in the rock and covering up some of the weeds. I have to clean up after myself. I'm a messy gardener sometimes, most of the time. And then this is, I think, an oh so easy rose paprika. This too just keeps throwing off buds all over. Oh yeah, lots of grasshoppers too. This Father Gila shouldn't look like that. That's not normal with the purple foliage. So, but everything else looks pretty decent. I mean, lots of good growth in there. So I'm just giving it next year. And when you think these gardens were underwater for all of June, that was crazy. And then I have a little hottie hydrangea back there. You wouldn't know it. Covered top to bottom in blooms. So what I am going to do, because there's just this big gap here, but I was gonna I wanted to widen this, just make it a little better of a curve. I did a little bit last year and then realized it's still not enough with the lawnmower because I'm having to weed whip in here because I can't. So I'm just gonna go like that. And then I have a little hottie in the back too, where I'll just put the two there and they can fill in and look great. I'm keeping this mainly shrubs because this is why. Because Creeping Jenny, which is a pain in the butt, I never planted it, just takes over. And it took over this entire area, smothered my perennials. Not annuals, perennials. And I saw one over there too. So I have to get in there and control that. It's heavily cardboarded and mulched. Because I tried to dig it up and no, that's not happening. Let's see, I think I'm gonna go in here. Oh, I need to make more of a path. I'm gonna retire this too. I wanna get back to my compost bins through there. But I'm letting this go to seed. This is just a bronze leaf fennel. I have seen some tiger swallowtails. I don't know, but I think it's pretty. Very airy. Oh, I have more. Oh, and a big, yeah, this container just is kind of a hot mess. And some self-seeded in here too, so hey, helping me out. Yeah, and then I'll go to the back in the next tour. I'll just go over here. I mean, there is something about plants that are, going to seed and going over that. It's kind of pretty too. Looks like little lanterns. Again, another Ligularia. Like I said, I like to repeat. This is all of the hardy geranium bounced back from being flooded. So I'm glad I left it. It looked pretty tough. This is just a Blue Monday sage that I started from seed. I just put it back there because it was a pity plant, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And look at it. It looks amazing. It's been getting watered from that container up there and the rain. We've had enough. But otherwise, one did rot. And then I have more Gomphrena that this rose is just a beast. This is Litchfield Angel. I didn't realize it was going to grow more like a climber too. So I'm definitely going to have to figure out a support over here because it's probably got a width of 6 feet now. All right, I'll just walk back slowly here. I'm at 30 minutes. I tried to do a whole tour in about 35. I can't. Maybe I just talk too much. I do. But I love my plants, and right now it's a beautiful morning and not having to rush around because of mosquitoes. Like I said, there's just something majestic about that morning sun. Maybe not wet feet though. And you probably can't see it, and then again, maybe some of you did. I do have my hose out and it's leading over there, and that's just because when I have a fire pit, I always have my hose over there just in case. Oh, this container. Still working with the front side garden, trying to figure that one out. I had an easier time figuring this one out than that one. I think it was just the shape of it, but I can't wait for these trees to actually kind of grow in and kind of make their own arch, and then I can just walk through. I think that'll be really awesome. And I think that'll happen here probably in the next 3 years, so I'm loving that. So hopefully you enjoyed, and bye for now.